Or we don't have to hold the applause. You can still clap for me. Hey everybody, welcome to B-Suite. This is Bonin Bough. As always, we try to take you through my day, introduce you to interesting people, and have you think differently about how you can transform your business and grow opportunities that are in front of you. Today, we're at the Lincoln International Consumer Conference. This is my second time speaking at this conference. What I love about this conference is it's probably the best collection of emerging businesses across consumer products, across apparel, across food and beverages. If you guys don't know, in my mind right now, I believe the next 5 years will probably be the most amount of M&A activity that we've ever seen in the beauty business as well as in the food and beverage business. And the reality was the consumer's been shifting to a much more healthier, much more natural way of life, and all of these large organizations that are stuck at 2 and 4% growth failed to move into that space, and now they're gonna buy their way to growth. Hopefully many of you will get bought at a healthy return on EBITDA. What's happened in these businesses is that they fail to really think about where the consumer is going, and the consumer right now is all about natural and health, and many of the big CPG companies don't own brands that land in those areas. And so what you're gonna see is them gobbling up brands as they try to struggle for growth. And so if you have a business that's in that space, what you're gonna hear from some of the businesses that are here is how they got to where they're going, what their concerns are for the future, where they see growth opportunities, and how they wanna move their business forward. So I can't wait for you to meet many of them. All right. I'm sitting down with Ken, founder of NatureBox, good friend. He led marketing from 0 to 1 million customers, and I'm sure he's going to be driving that business beyond. Give us just a little sense of what was the inspiration behind NatureBox in the first place.
You know, my co-founder Gotham and I, we love to eat, and one day we walked into a grocery store, just trying to find innovation within the grocery store, and we thought there might be a better way to create a food company where we have a direct-to-consumer relationship.
What advice do you give so somebody who's starting something as ambitious as this, or what they believe will be as ambitious as this?
Yeah, I think you gotta find areas where you have an even playing field. For us, we knew that we could not go into stores and fight with Model E's for shelf space. But one place that we understood that we had an even playing field was any new platforms that came out. My understanding of it will be the same as someone that worked at the largest agency's understanding of it, because it's new, right? And that's something you cannot outsource.
When you find those platforms that you begin to see consumers adopting, getting in there early and building to your point. And I love that you said you have an even playing field because you can't outsource it. There's no prior knowledge.
Right. You can't outsource it.
Yeah. If there were 3 pieces of advice that you received when you were starting, what would you have liked them to be?
Figure out how to put food on the table for yourself.
Yeah, I think being able to pay yourself, being able to put food on the table is something that people neglect to think about when they go into business.
Second, I think I mentioned earlier, is know your distribution points and know how you're going to market the product or service better than anybody else, because at the end of the day, that's how you're going to keep yourself fed. And then the third is, you should have a passion for building the business. It's super important because that's where you're going to grind through day in and day out.
All right, sir. Thank you for the advice. All right. Ken, wait. Twitter. Are you on Twitter?
I Ken Chen, Twitter.
I Ken Chen, Twitter. Okay, reach out to Ken, ask him any questions you have, he'll answer. We're here with Steve Vigilante on B-Suite. Steve, tell us a little bit about CircleUp and what you guys do.
CircleUp is a technology platform on the internet designed to help early stage consumer and retail brands get access to capital.
So you guys do the actual investing, or are you?
We invest in about 20% of the brands we work with. The other 80% we're out kind of helping them meet investors, putting a pitch together for them, cleaning up their financial model, helping them tell their story. And then we have a network of about 500 or so funds, family offices, corporate strategics, VC arms that invest through us and invest into the brands that we work with.
How does some of the smaller businesses, how do they find out about the opportunities with CircleUp? Just online, .com?
But yeah, CircleUp.com.
So Steve, it's been a pleasure speaking to you.
Pleasure being here.
So people can just look at
unbelievable.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So people can just look for CircleUp.com, find out all information. All right, thank you, sir. Hey, welcome to B-Suite. I'm here with David Barnett, who is the founder of Pop Sockets. Why don't you just tell us real quick what Pop Sockets are?
Pop socket is an expanding, collapsing doodad. Sticks to the backside of your phone with a repositionable gel. So you just wash it if it stops sticking or gets dirty. And then once you put it on, it allows you to pull your hand out from the back of your phone so you can comfortably access your whole screen without dropping your phone.
Where'd the idea come from?
Over at that table is my original prototype. I was tired of my headset tangling, so I glued a couple of big buttons from Joanne fabric to the backside of an iPhone 3 and wrapped my headset around them to stop it from tangling.
And so
it just turns out to be a terrific grip. This is why people.
But the original plan was not for the grip.
No, I got lucky. It turned out to be a good grip. Phones got big, and people need a grip now.
So you guys have had pretty much meteoric growth, right? What has been the hardest part about getting to where you are today?
The hardest part was probably supply chain, operations, manufacturing. I was a philosophy professor, so absolutely no experience. I mean, I had no funding, I had no connections to the business world, and I had tens of thousands of defective products coming to me from China, from our factory. Hardest part was getting over that hump where I had enough cash in the bank to hire adults around me who I could actually trust with a full project.
So what advice would you have wished that you received in the beginning?
Find experts and ask for their help early on, and be willing to adapt and change quickly in light of evidence and feedback that you are getting.
I love it. And if people want to find out how to buy thousands of pop sockets, and by the way, attribute it to the B-Suite, where can they?
Popsockets.com.
Popsockets.com.
Yeah.
All right, sir. Such a pleasure. Thank you so much, David.
Great talking to
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Where are the cool ones? Where are the really cool ones?
I'm one with the young kids are using.
Keep it clean.
Let's go with this. Let's go with this. Just like blend in. It's like the real camo. I hope you had a chance to see and meet a lot of people on this episode. What I really love about this conference is that this is really not the tech space, but this is really about all those people who are actually creating products, CPG products, apparel, food, beverage, clothing, and I know a lot of you out there are trying to build businesses in those areas, and so hopefully you heard a little bit of the struggles that many people have gone through, the inspiration that they found in networks and in finding people who understand their business, experts to surround themselves with, some of the challenges, some of the pieces of advice. What I love about this space is that it's transforming every single day. Businesses and brands can be built now on Amazon themselves. They don't even necessarily need to have a website. You combine that with the power of platforms like Instagram and Snapchat, and all of a sudden you can create brands that actually the only presence that they have are in those two channels. And more importantly is that you can disrupt the big guys. So if you can figure out how to drive that consumer demand and then find a platform for distribution, potentially Amazon or some of the other online platforms that we saw and heard from, then you can create fast-growing consumer brand. What I love is that you have an algorithm, you're data-driven, and what's crazy is that they can sit down with the retailer and say, actually, here's real data that proves that our product has a greater likelihood to sell in store. And what CPG doesn't have is they don't have that data. They're data starved when you guys are data rich. Right. And I'm sure slowly but surely you're taking shelf space away from them, one product at a time.
And that's the plan.